Alrighty.
Okay, what's up here? We are here with Harvey from Men Are the Prize podcast. He is joining us, the Opinionated podcast, to talk about a subject that these guys are feeling on their chest today, feeling like a roommate,
You hear him?
significant other.
Yep.
I'm just saying that. Listen, I've been there. I'm a guy who's been there.
What I knew it was coming from the rip. I knew it. These guys, and then
No.
it scorched itself out the room.
Yep.
Yes,
That's a stiff arm.
I'm not there.
Stiff arm. Just-
I'm not there. I'm not there right now.
Neither are us or
Neither are y'all.
whatever.
But we all been there. I've been there. I've been there. I've been living with some. I lived with somebody where I felt as though we were more.
talking to Mike, buddy.
Oh, that we was more roommates than a couple.
You could go ahead. I'm just laughing, bro. You could go ahead. We got Harvey here.
So, listen. Basically, man,
Being so weird.
I'm not being weird. This is something that I think this is something that all guys should get off our chest because most guys don't talk about stuff like this. We keep it bottled up. We try to act like it's nonchalant. Listen, like I was talking on the other side, man. Like women got to understand with men, like we do look for what we look for in our mother. We look for in the women we be with, and our mother nurtures us and care for us and love for us. You disagree.
I disagree with that.
You didn't love the nurturing and love from your mother used to give you. That didn't feel like great to you.
She ain't do it like my wife.
No, I don't mean she can't be like your wife. Go ahead. Tell me what you're talking about. Bro.
Emotionally. So it's weird. And I can definitely get into this. So when it comes to that affection and stuff like that, I didn't necessarily grow up with that. Not to say my mom didn't hug me and stuff like that, but it wasn't what you would think, you know, and my wife is actually the same way. Her mom came down here a couple weeks ago and her mom said, yeah, I didn't really hug them like that. And I was like, damn, that's fucking crazy. And that to me led to a lot of which comes to her pause with showing affection, my wife, because she doesn't like PDA. I can explain PDA to you if you want.
Explain it to me, brother. I'm listening.
Public displays of affection.
Yeah. I meant our listeners, but you know what I mean. Yeah, my wife is completely against PDA. Since the start of our relationship, she actually groomed it out of me. I used to give it until she said stop so many times that I just stopped attempting.
I disagree too. I'd have to disagree too because if I was looking for a woman with traits of my mom, I'd just be looking for something. I don't know what the fuck I'd be looking for.
Oh shit.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Women that were affectionate to you in your life as your younger stages. My mother wasn't the same way. My mother loved me a certain way, but the love and affection I got was from it was from my mother, but it was more so my aunt. My aunt gave me that, kiss, the hug, and all, the kissy, every time she see me, a big kiss, a big hug. You know what I mean? But you do need that as a man. Like I'm sorry, you do need that type of affection from as a man from a woman. You
need reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
So, yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
Reciprocity. I almost lost my.
It's a habit that my mother gave me.
One of the ones you were looking for when you were looking for your wife, right? Please correct me every chance you get, woman.
No, it's bad.
But no, in all reality and for real, just because we're men doesn't mean that you don't like affection or to be affectionate. If I'm taking time to do things, like for me, when I show affection, I'm cooking big wholehearted meals, I'm watching TV, I'm making sure that we communicate, or just stuff that I know how to do that makes her happy and stuff that she likes. I may not do it all, but I try to reach what I can reach within my limits, and I would expect the same. So if I'm trying to figure out what we're gonna do in a weekend, and I'm the only one trying to figure out what we're gonna do in a weekend when we have time to spend, then I'm feeling like there's something lost in this equation. 1 and 1 ain't equaling 2 to me. Right now it's just 1, and you just there for the ride. You know what I mean? You're looking for somebody to, when you wake up, hey, I got plans for you today. Oh, for me? You know what I mean? Like, we doing something for me today? You want somebody to do something for you just as much as you do for them. And when it's not even, you start that tilt start coming in. You know what I mean? Your mind starts running. You trying to figure out the fuck is up. Is it me? Is it you? Is it us?
Mm.
You know what I
Look,
mean?
can let me jump up in here? If
Hell
you
yeah,
don't mind?
jump in when you please jump
So,
in.
so I have a question because what was said was when men are looking for certain traits in their wife from their mother. So what if you weren't raised by your mother? Who am I looking for then?
That's why I said.
I mean,
That's why I said if I was looking for something, I wouldn't know what the fuck I'd be looking for
I mean, but I'm
because
saying
I don't have that relationship.
You was around. Most of us had women in our life, whether it be our mother,
Glad I'm looking for my father.
So then
grandmother.
maybe we're not looking for those traits from my mother or mother. Maybe I'm looking for feminine traits from someone.
Mhm.
Because like you said, it doesn't have to be mom, it could be an aunt. Now I say this as my parents got divorced when I was 10 and I
Mhm.
lived with my father afterwards. For the first 10 years, it was my mom. I came home from school, mom was there. Helped me with homework, all that stuff. I got that from mom. I'm Haitian though. So
Right.
that's we're Caribbean. That's it. Matriarchal society. That's who takes care of the kids. That's who's supposed to do it.
Yeah.
But after that, it was my dad, and I didn't get that affection at all. From like 10 on,
Wow.
it was just me. So whatever, I didn't get affection from my stepmother, my father, any of that stuff. I think we look for what makes us happy. And
Mhm.
affection can be it. But if you didn't get affection growing up, maybe you're not looking for that because you're not expecting it. You weren't used to it. I wasn't used to getting hugged, so I didn't look for it.
Right.
I guess it depends on every particular situation. I mean, I'm married. I have a wife who is not a fan of PDA. Like we hold hands while we walking around, but she's not the type to like while we walking or something, we in Target and just grab my ass or something or say something while we walking down the lane or whatever.
Getting
But
spicy.
I'm about to say, how would you react if you got your ass grabbed by your wife in
Punch her right in the
Walmart?
face.
No, you
No, no, no.
no, listen here, man.
I feel like that just means we gonna have plans later on. Like
Right.
this trip's gonna be a lot faster. We came from milk, we got milk, we done. We gotta go back home. Like we're not doing
Absolutely.
the 3 hours. That's what it is. I think that leads to a better evening. That's what that feels like to be. And I'm a man. I like that. I guess that's my love language. I like that. The touching and all that good stuff. So you knew that was gonna happen. Love language was just gonna dry. It had to come out.
I was just about to talk about it. Soon as I was just about to say, hey, you guys familiar with love language? I do believe my love language, physical touch.
Mhm.
Physical touch. That's
I
and
think that's most
yeah.
men. I think. Mhm.
Right, exactly, right.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with what we're talking about?
Well, love language, I
Love
guess.
language?
like the gentle, like the insinuation type touches, like type touches, or like just
Look-
regular embracement and
look-
loving touches.
I guess you talking about looks, touch, everything.
or a little bit of it all.
There's specific categories. I mean, I'm not familiar with all of them. I just know mine is physical touch. There is also giving gifts is a love language or something like that. There's
Let's
more.
Physical touch, quality time, acts of service. I don't. This is messed up. I should remember the two. I did a whole podcast with my wife about it, and I don't remember the other two.
Okay.
But I don't know. All I know is that I think quality time was my wife's love language, and touch was mine.
Mm.
So, and they tend to change based on the length of time of the relationship, how people change. You add kids into it, all different things. But apparently, we have something in particular that really gets us going, that we feel the most loved based on one of those five things. I think the thing has kind of been debunked. I'm of the opinion that the doctor who wrote this wasn't a fan of Black people.
Oh.
So you could look into that and see. But it's not something, some people still use it, but it's not something that was created per se for the Black relationship.
I get that.
But
Let me ask y'all a question. We all been in our relationship. Y'all think the love language is lost, like due to time? Like you forget how to communicate that
can be.
loving them.
I think that most
can be.
love language is lost due to social media, to be honest.
Expound,
I mean,
please.
so there's nowadays we go on social media. What do you see? I mean, as men, it's just you see women at their most finest points. You know what I mean? And the stuff that they do and the things that they're into. It may seem, unreachable, or it may change your mind about what they like or dislike. and it could be a different comparison to what's in your own home. So you're taking a script from what you see that could be a facade compared to reality in your own home. You don't really have the grasp or the concept of what to actually do with your own mate, because you see or people that you may be interested in. Not even, you don't even have to have anybody. If you're looking for somebody, you may see certain things that you think is right, but it's not right. You know what I mean? Or may not be right for a person that you're interested in.
If
Yeah.
I got a different approach on that real quick for
okay,
social media. What I think gets lost in social media and relationship, as far as love language, I think women that are in relationship tend to go put how they feel on there and say everything how they feel on there and get their emotions out, and hopefully you see it and pick up on it and maybe bring it back home and change. Where most part, us guys, we like to be direct with our shit. So when you see something like that on Facebook or social media of her giving you them signs of her needing love, you get infuriated. I know I get infuriated. It's like, why are you putting this out to the world to see? You know, I wish I was touched. I wish I was held. I need somebody to talk to. Man, I
It
want to
must
watch
be
this.
nice.
It,
So
it
seeing
must,
other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Or the
you get
benefit.
infuriated with that as a man. So you can go two ways. Some men do catch up on it and catch hits and go apply it to their relationship, but all that does is feed a beast. That feeds an
Social
insatiable
media
beast.
beast.
Because the woman will keep going to social media to keep finding that love instead of taking that equation out and just doing, like we used to do before phones was, really a big thing, and communicate with each other.
Which is definitely, in my opinion, the wrong thing to do, because now you're opening the door. I feel like you're opening the door to other people. Oh, I don't like to say competition, but if you're not married and you're just, y'all trying to work through everything out, you're opening the door for other people to be like, oh, what's he not doing? Or why is he? You
I
should
can
be,
do it.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? DMs, all that shit. And now you gotta deal with, all right, I got these guys DMing me. I'm not talking to my man about the situation, but everybody knows our business now. You know what I mean? And that puts your man in a situation where he feels as though now he's on the defense. At least I would be on the defense. Well, I would be on
Can
the
I just
defense.
say, I wouldn't. I mean, I think I'm somewhat of a different cat in like if there's some dude that she's talking to, and my wife is not that type of person, so I can comfortably say this. If there's any conversations being had with somebody else, particularly a man about our relationship, we got some real issue. I'm not concerned about other people. For me, I think I can say this, and I tend to be black and white with a lot of things. But one thing I told my wife is, one, she knew I had never wanted to get married ever. Marriage was not something I wanted to do. Every marriage around me was a mess, including the one I grew up in. So that was a mess. 10 years of toxicity and abuse and all that. I'm like, why am I going to get married to somebody? This didn't look good.
Mhm.
But one thing I told her is I can deal with anything except cheating. Good or bad, that's me.
Mhm.
But what I also told her is that I'm not jealous. I'm not the jealous type. If that's what you're looking for, I'm not that dude. If I marry you, I trust you. If you cheat, I'm not blaming dude because he enforced you. You knew what you were doing. You decided. That's been a big rift for us. I'm not jealous. So if she's talking to somebody DMs or whatever, fine, whatever. You're an adult. When you pass the threshold of our marriage, you cheat. That's you. It's a wrap. We're done. I don't think she's a fan of the fact that I'm not really jealous about things either, because I wouldn't marry somebody that I don't trust. Trust is number one for me, to a fault. Like I pretty much need to walk in on her getting down with somebody for me to believe that. Because if I have, she's the mother of my kids. We're building this life together. I can't be 50-50 with who my spouse is.
Uh-huh.
I gotta believe you 100%. So all that stuff that's some extra shit. That's stuff on the side. That's
Yeah,
that's not it.
I
Day to
agree with
day,
you.
yeah,
I
that's
agree
it.
with you, and I'm not jealous. But when I say that I get on the defense, it's not with other guys. I'm on the defense with. It's with her. It's why are you putting our business out for everyone to know, but you don't have the decency or the respect to come and talk to me about a situation? That way we can handle this situation in our home. Right now, you're taking our home situations and you're putting them on the street. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the defense come in, because now when you want to talk to me, I'm feeling some type of way about a situation already. And once I'm already feeling some type of way about a situation, I'm on the defense. I'm looking at you funny while you're trying to look at me funny. Now we're combative at that point. Now, if you
Let
had
me
came
ask you
and
a
talked to
question
me
real
from the
quick.
rip, I
I
wouldn't
don't
have
mean to
felt that
cut
way.
you.
No, you
I
good. Go
won't
ahead.
cut you off. Here's my question. I heard what you said, and she's talking about maybe the seedy side. Maybe the relationship is struggling a little bit, and you don't want her putting that business out. Let's just say you guys have a business and you had a big success. That money's finally coming in. The name is out there. People know who you are. Do you have a problem with her putting the good news out?
Yeah, what of
No,
us having a success in general?
Yes.
no.
Yes.
I mean, I guess it would depend on the success. Like if we ran into millions and
No.
millions of dollars, then I'm not.
Yeah.
Yo, you shut your mouth. But if it's just if we're just like, oh, we've come over an obstacle with our business, then that's one thing because our business is for everybody. Like something that we're financially supporting and it financially supports us and we're working on together. But when we're at home, we're not working on something together for everybody else to chime in on. We're working on our own stuff together. So
So,
I put those on two different pedestals. In a
all right,
sense.
then change it up. Let's say you
Okay.
guys are celebrating 25 years of marriage. Can she put that out?
Yeah, she could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
See, that's the only reason I ask is do you have a problem with your business being put out in the world or your bad business being put out in the world?
Dirty
I
laundry.
have a but the thing about it is I know that we're celebrating a 25-year anniversary because we're both in the know. I don't know you feel this way, but you're telling
then
everybody else that you're feeling this way
I got a better
without
question
that's
for
telling
the
you.
me.
problem. So that's the problem. It's not
Without
that she's
telling me.
telling people, it's she and tell you.
Yeah,
That's the
first,
concern that you
period.
have. Right,
Because
right.
how am
feel
I
you.
able to help us come over anything if I don't know something, but somebody else does? I mean, it's one thing you talk to your sister or your family, you're looking for advice, but social
I don't like
media is
that
not
either.
your sister. But it goes to be expected because we're boys and we talk to each other about all types of stuff because we're like family. We've been tight for years and years. But the stuff that I tell y'all, I don't tell everybody. It's for y'all ears because I know who I can talk to about that. I know who's going to give me the advice that I need to hear and not that I want to hear. And there's a difference. You know what I'm saying? So when you're putting it out there just on social media, you know, man, this day and age, everybody has an opinion on something. Without you knowing the facts, you still got an opinion.
Tagline.
You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
for you to put our personal business out there that you have feelings of that I don't know about for everybody else to chime in. Now, what am I supposed to do? Text a comment on there to let you know that I know that exactly. So why wouldn't you? I'm home
Yeah.
every day. You're home every day. We see each other at some point. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Kev, I need to talk to you. When I know the tone, this is gonna be a serious conversation. You know what I mean? I know the attitude. I know the body language. I know what I'm in for at this point. I know what has to happen. But when you start putting shit on social media and I'm out just regularly living life, because I'm not a big social media head. I'm not on Facebook all the time and stuff like that. But I see some shit or somebody tells me, yo, your girl good? What you mean? Why are you asking me about my wife? Why are you asking me about my fiance? Nah, she posted some crazy shit earlier. I didn't know if that had to do with you or now I got to go check the shit. And I see it. Now I got to go back home to a situation. Shit sounds stupid to me.
I'm already hot.
I'm
As soon as I get in,
already on the
already hot.
defensive,
Yeah.
is what I'm
Yep.
saying. And when I
Right.
come
I feel
home,
you.
it's not an embrace of what you have to say at this point because my mind is already configured. Yo, you out here telling everybody but me. How are we supposed to get married and have a conversation? And I look forward to, all right, she's going to tell me these things. That way I know what to do if there's a situation. I know what not to do. But no, you telling everybody else. Is that what I expect in the
But see,
future?
but listen, I guess those are the little landmines being placed around the house.
I mean,
will eventually will lead you to being the
I don't go
roommate.
through that.
I mean,
now. I'm
being
just
in a
saying,
roommate, but
yeah.
being in a roommate situation.
You
Those
can
are the little, those are the little crumbs that start to break down the love in the house.
and let me be very, very clear. When you feel like you're roommates, that doesn't have to last. Like that's not forever that you be like, yo, man, I feel like we roommates and that's it. Nah, I just think that everything is a breakdown in communication or bad habits. In all honesty, you could fall into a line of bad habits where maybe you're not spending that personal time together, like you should be, or maybe you're both working a lot. I know I went through that when we were both working a lot. I was miserable. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I just told her recently. I'm like, yo, before we came down here, bro, I'm like, listen, I wasn't miserable like I wanted to leave her or nothing like that, but I was like, bro, it was like there was nothing in the house for me, and if I did anything for me, you know what I mean, like play the game, like it's a problem. All you do is stay in that room. Nigga, that's all I got.
That's all you got.
That's all I have. Like, if I'm not doing
Mhm.
that, I'm taking some, and I'm never doing enough at the time. I was never doing enough, which I admit to. Certain things I'm like, yeah, I could have did way more. But it's like, if I ain't doing that, I'm taking the girls to here. I gotta watch, not got to, but I have them all day because she'll be working a double. Like, everything was like business. And I personally don't like that. I can't survive in that a long time. Like, there needs to be some, as Kev said earlier, reciprocity here. Like, I need emotional, like we got to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be give
Let
and
me ask
take.
you a question. Let me ask you a question, Dre.
Yeah, I was cooking, but all right.
Yeah, he was cooking, and you could just ask the question.
You
Ask
just
a
ask
question.
the question.
I'm saying, let me ask a question about you, but I just want to I want to build on you talking about you being in your room.
Okay.
Do you think that she thought she needed more time for herself? You being loving towards her because you think you being in the house is just your presence is enough that you're there.
That's a very good question. So what a lot of times I would try to bring the rooms together, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, it was everything became, I work so much, maybe on both our parts, because I'll never say that I wasn't at fault. I work so much that I need my time.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Everything became that. And I'm not just talking about me, it was definitely her. So when she came home, it was like, well, I just want to sit in the room and watch this one show all day. And that's cool. Yo, but maybe I could come in the room with you. We could watch it. You don't like this show. Nah, you won't fuck my shit up. And it's like, I'll go downstairs and play the fucking game then. Like, that's what it becomes. And then you don't, if things don't change, like as far as your outer world or whatever, like you still working the same. If you're not cognizant of that, you don't come out of that. So it's just bad habit, bad habit, bad habit, bad habit, until you sitting in the car in the driveway saying, I should just run this motherfucker into the garage and fucking just barrel. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm just looking
whatever.
at him.
Or
no,
I should just leave.
I feel you, because me and my fiance are on total opposite time schedules. She works in the morning to evening. I work in the afternoon to late night. So we see each other on the weekend. We don't even see each other passing because I'm asleep when she's leaving and she's asleep when I'm coming in the house.
Yeah.
So when I'm getting off of work, I have my time. When she gets off of work, she has her time, but there is no other time to have. Wow. So when the weekends come, my kids are there. She has family stuff. I got family stuff. It's hard to weave all of that in. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we find ourselves separated because she has to do what she needs to do. I got to do what I need to do. And there's lack of, we need to do what we need to do. You know what I mean? And that causes a rut at times. Mm. But what can you do? Am I supposed to change my career? You know what I mean? She's supposed to change her career. Are we supposed, you know what I mean? Like for Valentine's Day, I took a half a day. Well, actually I took a whole day, but I was supposed to take a half a day, but I took a whole day to make sure I was home when she got off so I could do something, because I knew she didn't think I was going to be around for the most part. She knew I might've took a half a day or something like that, but she didn't know I was going to go through the lengths. I didn't do no Valentine's Day social media wishes or none of that. Yeah. I waited for her to come home and we did, there ain't nothing in the cup yet. I waited for her to come home and we did we did whatever. I did whatever I felt as though would have been nice for her, especially after a long day at work. You know what I mean? But that's the only way I could show, you know, my nice side, or
that's what I hate about Valentine's Day. Motherfuckers think a day in February on the 14th is a day that you're supposed to actually do something for your woman to break the monogamy. You should try to take that
monotony.
Whatever.
Monotony.
Fuck, I fuck monotony. Words up.
I only said that because there are two different meanings to that.
Monotony. Monotony. I don't. Please, people that listen, y'all
I'm
know I don't
sorry.
get words right. But
But I mean, I did that because I knew that on that particular day, that's something that she would have wanted, especially after a long day at
why
work.
not
I mean,
do that when you start seeing the
mm.
love start to fade in the crib?
Yeah, but how do you know
Yeah,
that
Romeo, tell
one
him.
person's not doing that the whole time and the other person's not?
Okay, I'm gonna
One
say this
person
for
is
me.
doing it and the other person isn't. How do you know that's not the case?
Because I can be, dude, I can be the one always giving the love and affection or whatever, being that person. Like you say, you're doing everything to get her out on the weekends. Maybe you take one day and like, you know what? I'm just gonna let me see. That's not working. I'm trying to do the weekend. Let me just take off one day, bring her some flowers. This whole day is us. I don't care what you got going on. What we got. This is dedicated to us. I took off today. I know we don't see each other. You probably tired. Let me do something special for you today. Maybe that might lighten the mood up or change the vibe in the house where you're not feeling like y'all just roommates in passing or just people sharing. I mean,
No, because that's just
Let me jump in.
that's
Let me
just
jump in.
go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you why, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that there's two sides to that. You can do that for a very long, extended period of time. What if that person just doesn't respond to that type of? Because I'm gonna tell you, my wife, like all that shit, it works for you, bro. I'm not trying to play you or nothing. I'm just putting this out there in general. My wife don't respond to that shit. If I come home, hold on. If I come home and I want to hear you guys' opinion on this, but I just want to get it out. If I come home and I put rose petals and all that shit on the bed and all the other shit that everybody say, yo, do that. You know what my wife is gonna do? Because I have a weird wife. She gonna come
That's
in.
why you gotta clean it up.
She might,
Who gonna clean this shit up?
like, what are you doing? And I'm gonna be like, you came home, hey girl, come here. She's like, oh, all right. I mean, you ain't got to do all that. And I'm like, that's how my wife is, and I'm not exaggerating. She's a fucking weirdo. You got to crack the code on this motherfucker.
Okay, I'm speaking.
She's not a weirdo because women aren't a monolith, just like we men aren't a monolith either. Certain women like certain things. My wife doesn't like chocolate, cheesecake, like snowflakes, and like just she's so all this stuff y'all talk about. I mean, that it might work, it might, but with a lengthy relationship, you'll know what your version of that or what her version of that is. So maybe she's not. Maybe your wife is, oh, babysitter, we're gonna sit here, we're gonna watch a marathon or Real Housewives of Compton or whatever's on TV, whatever something, and that's gonna make her happy. So you never.
Housewives of Compton, though.
I don't want to watch that.
I do. I would watch that. I don't watch none of them shits, but I would watch that.
Real Housewives of North Philly, cool.
every woman is different, but my thing is, I would certainly do that, and I've done that in the past, and with kids and life, it's kind of got harder to do. Do you get that done for you?
What you mean?
Like Valentine's,
that's a good question.
Even with Valentine's Day, even the concept of receiving a gift or some action for you, because you're in a relationship too, it seems foreign. Like, did she bring you some steak or something? Happy Valentine's Day. Did she bring you like a
when
new
I
controller
said that
or
to
something?
her, I looked. She looked at me and accosted me. Okay, why would I get you anything? This is for the women. I was like, wait a minute. I thought Valentine's Day had to do with love in general,
years, buddy.
I don't get. I didn't get a Valentine's Day.
Babe, I love you.
You know what I mean?
You there? You
She
such
got
a
me-
sucker. You a sucker. That's why you ain't in this conversation.
No, I'm telling you, I'm laughing at him not getting nothing. I got some motherfucking $140 pair of headphones to work out with.
My kids
I
might
got
get
something.
me stuff, but other than my own children, my girls, I've never gotten anything for Valentine's Day.
Don't laugh.
Like not no real gift. I mean, but in all reality, I've always did what I wanted to do. You want to go out? What do you want to do? I've always extended that towards them. What do you want? What would you like? This, that, and the third. I don't care if I get anything or not. Even any type of holiday, I tell my wife now, she'd be like, I don't know what to get you. And I'd be like, I don't care. If you got me anything, I would be appreciative because just thinking about getting me stuff is cool. But I don't the thing that my wife knows is when I want something, I go get it and I don't wait for nobody. You know what I'm saying? I get what I want when I want to because I don't want you fucking that up. Just real in all reality, I don't. When it comes to Andre, you know I'm a sneakerhead. My wife will never buy me a pair of sneakers ever. She's scared to death that I'll be like, "Thanks, babe," and then they'll get put on the other side of the room. That's not part of the collection. She don't want to be the one to ask me, "How come you don't wear the sneakers I got you?"
Ooh.
She don't want to be that person. She knows,
It'll hurt her.
She knows how to get. I mean, she's bought me jerseys.
She's a Gemini.
She's got
It'll
me
hurt her.
hats, but she won't buy. There's certain stuff that she just won't get, and I understand why. I get what I like and what I want right then and there. So I don't have a problem when I don't receive a gift, but I will put that out there like, yo, you could take me out if you want to take me. I mean, don't complain about what I'm doing if you're not doing what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? If you're not going to take the time to do what I do or how I plan stuff out, or it takes me an hour and a half to make a gourmet meal, if you're not doing that, then don't complain about what I'm going to do because I'm doing it for you. You know, and yes, and for me, because when she's happy, I feel a certain happiness. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Which brings a happiness to the household.
So to the two guys that are happy, I'm happy. I'm joking. I'm happy. I'm just like right now. I need to get out of the house. Like I know that
she be standing behind you.
The two guys, yeah, I know, right? To the two guys, what do y'all suggest when things kind of get into that? You know, because I've been with my wife for 12 years,
4,000 years.
Well, we've been married for 12 years and we've been together for, we lived together for what, 17, 18 years? I'm about to
say 17 years.
So like, to me, it goes like this. I say that all the time. Right now, it's a little boring. I'm gonna be honest, it's a little boring. Everything is a little, So what do y'all think that a person like us should do when stuff like this happens?
So you want to know when you're kind of stagnant, relationship isn't all right. There's some real cheesy shit that I hear all the time. Stuff like, never stop dating your wife or, always do that stuff. But to a degree,
that's the key.
That's the part of it. Yeah. There's nothing better than out the blue. Let's go do some shit. Babysitter, we're gonna go to your favorite restaurant. You got like 10 minutes. Put something on. We out. Let's go. Right. And so, because I think a lot of times, to a degree, a lot of women, they're thinking about stuff. They got stuff to figure out. I got to do this, feed these kids. I got to deal with this man. Or he wants sex in the next few days, whatever, stuff like that. When you take that shit off the table and it's like, your favorite restaurant, 8:30, reservations, let's go. And when it's just random, when it's not typical, when it's not part of the same habits, when it's not the same Tuesday, when you do some different stuff. That's what it is. Because then you shake it up. Now you get those butterflies when that first date happened, or that second date when y'all first became a couple and y'all was fucking everywhere you could, stuff like that. That's the kind of energy you want. And if you can do that, by the way, it just occurred.
Yeah,
I'm allowed to speak like that.
Oh, we free here.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah. When we heard it, Jay was like, yes.
I'm like, he's going to have to bleep me out. I'm like, no, either way. So every once in a while, you got to shake things up. Every once in a while, it's got to be different. I'm a sports fan. I like boxing. I like, Tyson was killing everybody. Buster Douglas knocked him out. Oh, shit. Boxing is all new different. Sometimes you got to shake stuff up. And relationships are the same. Give her a reason to get up. Get her excited. There's nothing better than your girl who's happy, who's extra excited, because that gets reflected in other parts of the home. And I think you do that right. That's my humble, bit of advice.
I completely agree. Kev, I want you to say your piece too, but I want to ask y'all a question in the meantime. When the last time y'all had butterflies? I haven't had butterflies in like 20-some years. That shit is important.
It's crazy. You're married to a fucking Aries, and I'm an Aries. You know what I'm saying?
Aries bring butterflies?
No, Aries don't bring butterflies. But let me tell you, dog, you gotta be more assertive and aggressive with your wife and doing shit, man. Like he said, when you're doing spontaneous shit. If she starts that,
I'm not my question. It's all good. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm saying when you asked me the last time I had butterflies, right? That's what you asked me, right?
Oh, go ahead. I didn't know we were still okay. Go ahead. I thought you was about to just cuss me out about my relationship.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I had, but it's certain times my wife get, do her hair and shit like that. I'm like, oh, I get that little gut feeling like, oh, she come here for me tonight.
Hey, where's she? Hold on. I ain't trying to play you. Other Kev. Where's she at?
She in a room across from
bro.
us.
That's not true, bro. That's not true. You don't see her get her hair done and get butterflies, dog.
No, I said. Let me say what. Let me. Do you want me to finish what the fuck I was saying, motherfucker? You always.
She talking about looking at him
Motherfucker
now.
always cut me
She
the
talking
fuck
about
off.
looking at him now like he full of shit.
Yeah, I ain't full of shit. Motherfucker come in there,
Yo,
hair
every
done.
time I see her in the morning, I get
No.
you sir are a bullshit artist.
No.
Yeah, go ahead. Say
You know
what
I
you need to
said
say
she
to
come
make
with that
this
same
look
beat up
good.
ass t-shirt all the time. She switched it up.
Look, see, go ahead, be a smart ass.
That's
if you
part of
want.
it, though.
Nah, that shit ain't part of it. That motherfucker come
I'm
in
talking
there.
about that's part of this shit that make you like, yo, she got that same motherfucker.
But I'm saying you deal with you deal with an Aries. Your Aries is like me, dog. We are aggressive, and you always say your wife, and when she tells you she doesn't like nothing, I guess you probably stop right there, like fuck it.
It takes me a while.
You gotta be like, yo, bring your ass on. I don't care how you feeling. Let's go. You have to be assertive with an Aries because Aries like that. I'm an Aries. You got to be assertive. You got to be aggressive, especially with the women. You got to be aggressive with them. We tend to dominate people. No, I'm just saying, Aries tend to if you let us dominate, we will dominate you. We will dominate the house.
That's a hard.
But if you assert
he's talking, but he act like he don't know who Erica is.
I know who she is, bro.
Erica doesn't dominate me. She's just stuck in her ways. But I want you to keep going because I'm not saying that you're not off base here. So go ahead.
Like mixing it up, bro. We also, as an Aries, we are very adventurous, man. You gotta take her to do something. Yeah, we are adventurous. We like to see that your wife's not adventurous.
No.
He's a fucking.
But go ahead. You ain't either. But go ahead.
What? Yeah, I'm about to say. Wait a minute. Who are we?
You talking to a dude that did cliff diving, fucking snorkeling. I do any when I'm somewhere.
We're not talking about vacation activities. I'm gonna come up there. Let's go skydiving.
You talking about a dude that likes to shoot guns, ride dirt bikes, hike in the woods? I did a lot of that shit, man.
You sound like a hillbilly.
I don't sound like a hillbilly.
Yo, let me just say real quick, and this time some Oprah type shit is gonna be said. You may say that she's not adventurous. The response might be you haven't supplied her the right adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
okay. Yes.
Okay.
She may not be. She might be adventurous. You just haven't given her.
Maybe you
the
lack
thing
adventure.
that so and maybe it's not that you lack adventure, but you just don't know what adventure she's waiting for yet. What have you brought to her? Because she's not the same woman that you met 17 years ago. We all change. We all evolve. We got kids, we got lives, we got new stuff. What have you brought to her attention that you could just kind of ease her into? And like, yo, let's try this. I'm gonna be with you. You trust me, right? You know I got your back, right? Let's go do this and see something. Maybe it's not the grand adventure right up front. Maybe it's let's try this. And then we step it up to this, and then we step it up to this, and then all of a sudden we jumping off the Empire State Building. But at first we just jumped off of Seesaw. Some easy. Build your way up. I think every person is adventurous when they're surrounded by the people they trust and the situation is right.
Yeah.
I say this knowing that I have not come up with adventure for my wife either. So don't act like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I ain't come up with it yet, but I'm still trying.
I feel like
stop playing with that same red ball and trying to roll it out to play with and shine that same red ball up thinking it's something different, dog. I'm just saying.
Listen,
switch your toys up, dog.
Two things, because I feel like I do have to make a. So this is halfway me kind of putting some spice on it. You know what I mean? And halfway of what is actually happening. Like, you know what I'm saying? My wife is not bad. We are happily married.
I know that.
But we, like anybody, we get in the ruts. Yeah. Like anybody. Right now, I've been home for quite a while, and it's weighing on me. It's weighing on me. So that's really what I'm referring to. My wife is not bad at all. She's shit. At most points, she's my best friend. Other than y'all two motherfuckers, she's my best friend. So that's who I have to lean on when anything is going on with me. So it's half and half. It's like, right now maybe I'm coming up with the worst of stories just so we can kind of talk about it, because there's a lot of men who are going through this, that need these conversations, that don't have some good friends and Harvey to talk about it with. So, you know what I mean? I'm not afraid to share. I'm not Kev. My wife ain't waiting in the other room ready to scare me to not talk about things.
What the fuck are you talking about? Me? You talking about the guy that got more embarrassing clips on the internet that y'all put up about
That's
me and
true.
my relationship
That's true.
more than any fucking body on
That's
here.
true. That's true.
And she be in the other room and be like, "This mother, I can't believe he said that about me." You talking about me?
That's true.
I'm
That's
saying
true.
I'm not there. I'm not right there. Right. I'm not there right now. I know I will get there.
Okay.
But when I see I'm starting to get there, I remember the shit that she likes. And I try to do it, but maybe with a little twist, with a little different way so it seems fucking new.
Give an example.
Spicing it up.
No, I'm serious, bro. Like,
Spicing
think
it up.
about the men who need to hear this, and I'm dead serious.
Like I was talking about the flowers early. Every Valentine's Day I will come. I came with the same shit, the big teddy bears, the flowers, every year. So, bro, this Valentine's Day, she kept talking about this fucking vacuum cleaner. There's a vacuum cleaner and a mop all in one. And I'm sitting there looking like I've walked past the bears. I look at the flowers, look at the roses. I say, you know what? She's been talking about this shit. I'm going to get her this and this card. And when I came home and I gave her the gift, she lit the fuck up. Like she was so happy that I remembered that she wanted this. She's on the phone with her cousin. Her cousin's like, what did Kev get you for Valentine's Day? She said he got me a vacuum. And being normalized with the same Valentine shit with the rose and the what is he really trying to say? It's like, I'm not trying to say nothing. I know my woman. This will make her more happy than anything, any fucking teddy bear that's going to die in the closet or any car to get buried or get lost. This is what she wants. This is what makes her happy. I got her what made her happy. Other people look at that as that's not really a Valentine's Day gift. Yes, it is. It came from my heart. I'm just saying it came from my heart. I listened. I heard her always looking at it. I seen her always paying attention. I listened. I got it. That's what she wanted. Motherfuckers don't do that. People forget. Yeah, they don't listen or pick up on the hints their women are dropping. They just keep thinking they're going to keep doing the same shit that everybody else is doing. Oh, man. You know what? I got to spice things up. I'm going to take my wife out to a movies and a dinner. We're going to come home and have sex. Maybe she wants to fucking go chill at the park or something. Or maybe she wants to take a walk, a picnic. Yep. Maybe she wants to, maybe your girl was athletic back in the day. Maybe she would be happy if you just say, yo, put your shoes on, let's go play ball. Let's go hoop real quick or play some softball. I dated girls that was in the sports and that'd be the happiest time, the most fun they have is like, yo, I can't remember that you still remember that I like to hoop. And shit like that. You can't keep doing what you see on TV. You got to fucking break out the box and you got to listen to what your woman is putting out there. You keep trying to do you're gonna keep getting the results. Stop doing you. Do what she's telling you to do, bro.
And that's a clip. That's all I needed. Good job, buddy.
That's solid advice for anybody in any relationship. You just there's another person in there who needs to be stimulated in some way. What are you doing to make that person happy in general? Happy in this relationship. Life is hard. You keep talking about you guys are in a rut. Life is continuous. You up, you down. It's how you handle it that's really important. You can get there. We could be super happy, and in a middle second, something's gonna be said or something's gonna happen, and all of a sudden you're in a rut. How do you deal with that with your significant other? What do you do? Do you lean in and try to figure it out? Do you step back and just wait for it to die? What do you do? Do you talk about it? It's important. And when you know that person, you know how to deal with it. And I think those are the things. I think the fact you mentioned that you always got her the gifts and you got her the teddy bear and the chocolates, it wasn't even the vacuum that she loved most. It's the fact that you was listening. That's probably the best thing. She's like, this motherfucker heard me. I said this and he brought this for me. That's the best part. The gift is great. The intent is even better.
Right.
And when you get somebody who legitimately cares and shows it, that's a relationship. And that's the difference between being a roommate and being a significant other, being somebody's person. I think that therein lies the difference. We could just split the rent 50-50, or we can split it 40-60, but I bring you nachos because you love nachos on the day when you had, simple little things like that make make it different, make it emotional, that connect you.
Right.
So
connection is key.
I love that.
Connection.
Connection. And you know what? I had a thought, and I'll ask the group this. All of this is solid. You know what I mean? Do y'all think that men or even women, men and women, get caught up in how things used to be, and they want to understand what I mean, right? Oh yeah, she used to do XYZ, or I used to do XYZ, and now that's not happening no more. I'm not speaking from my situation. I'm speaking just in general. Oh, she used to dress this way. Like Kev mentioned the old I'm gonna knock your relationship down if it kills me. Kev,
Fucking
Kev,
different.
Kev mentions the old t-shirt. Well, guess what? 5 years ago, she wasn't wearing an old t-shirt. She was wearing the see-through underwear. I'm not speaking on your situation. I'm just saying the see-through underwear. She was dressing up for you. She was getting her hair done more often. Things like that. Do you think that men and women get caught up in how things used to be, and that's how they become in this rut, or even unhappy?
I think so,
To the group.
because that's why they say you need to date more when you're in a relationship, because when you date more, you get that experience that you used to get. I don't think it's something that you should get all the time. If you got it
Mm,
all the time, you'd end up getting tired of it. It would just be another form of them that you'd see on a daily basis. Then you'd be looking for something different. You know what I mean?
mm, okay.
Switching it up is always good. I mean, I work I work I work nights every day. So when I get home, there is not an inch of her that wants to see me. You know what I mean? She's, hey, how you doing? I'm asleep. All right, talk to me tomorrow. You know what I mean? And I get my time. I get to smoke, watch movie, whatever the case may be. But on Saturday, I try to figure out something where we can do something, and hopefully I can figure that one thing out where it should be like, oh, I'm gonna put on my dress jeans for this, or I'm gonna put on my, you know what I mean? She got certain attire that she wears for certain places that she goes. Even
I
though her
get that.
closet is flooded with clothes,
I get
there's
that.
a certain section where she keeps, where she's like, oh, we going out. I gotta dress like this for him. And those, and you, it's like trying to pick a lock for me, because
Mm,
it's very rare that she puts on this attire, and it's hard for me to figure out where we're going for her to get into that attire. But when I figure it out every now and then, it's like, oh, I got you. Now it's 2 hours for her to get ready. I know what I'm about to get into tonight. You know what I mean? I know the route that she's taking, so I know the route that I can take. So it's a rare occasion. That's what brings them butterflies up, is the newness of what used to be old. That makes any sense.
Well,
okay.
speaking for myself, yeah, you do get caught in that thing on how it used to be, because you kind of miss it. Like, it's like that's what brought you to the relationship.
Mm,
And they feel as though once you get that person, they're caught, they're on the hook, they got you, nothing has to change. He's here. You gotta you gotta show a person, though, this is the reason why. I gotta show you why I got you. Every once in a while, you gotta show a person, like, this is the reason why I got you. You must have forgot who I am. Always bring up that person, so they don't forget, man, because you'll start looking at it like, damn, is this the same person I got in a relationship with?
mm,
You you'll look like, is this the same person? Like, where's that flyness that she used to have? Where's that, that twinkle in the eye, that little walk? Like, where did that go? You start like, damn, is it gone? So every once in a while, bring that shit back out, man. Show her why you are you, or you know what I mean. Show your person why you are you. I'll let you speak. All
me?
Um,
Oh, I'm about to
I
say.
get to
Say
go.
Harvey.
I don't know. Variety is the spice of life. I've always heard that term. So it shouldn't be the same all the time. But the best time when you're with somebody's like those, it's them that early, those first few dates, first time y'all getting together. You don't know that person very well. So it's nerves, it's
Mm,
butterflies. Does she like the shirt I'm wearing? Oh, I like the dress she's wearing, whatever, stuff like that. There's a lot of unknown. That's why it's amazing,
mm,
because you're getting to learn about the person. So you can't really replicate that among that situation, because with every date you learn more, with every time you hang out, with every phone call, with every text, it's a different person. I don't The way it used to be, or is it the feeling you used to get? At least
both.
that's what I would think. That's what I think. Because it could be whatever was happening about it, but how I felt. afterwards. Like I hung out and I got home. I'm like, yo, I'm ready to see this girl again. That's the thing you're trying to replicate. I can't wait to see her again. I can't wait to hang out with her again. I can't wait. We was just on a date, but I need to call her. I need to text her. That is the feeling. That's what I want to replicate. And then if you don't get that, then you're like, wow, it's just she came home. It's like, oh yeah, she here. Wow. And there's nothing special. And that's not what I want. I'm annoying to my wife because I'm very much like, I'll hug her for no reason. For no reason. Like, just, hey, like she's cooking. Hey, she's watching some show. Hey, she's working. And like, I've always done that. And when I feel like it's getting, a little tense, I'll just hug her. What you hugging me for? I'm like, I just felt like hugging you. Remember when we was early just dating? I used to just hug you for no reason? Yeah, get the fuck off me. Whatever, just to get a laugh and stuff like that. But
yeah.
That's what I think it is. You want that feeling back. That feeling is the best in the world because you don't really know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen next, but you love the possibilities of what could go down. I think that's what I like. That's what for me.
I think considering all of your answers, I think I found the decision that like I found the course of action that most men should take in this situation. Cheat. That'll do it. Just cheat. Just call other women and say, you know what? You about to give me this feeling. You gonna give me this feeling. She gonna be all right. You gonna give me this feeling that I haven't had.
I knew something was about to be said.
For other men, not us.
He said it's that feeling.
Men.
It's the gamble. It's me taking a chance. That's the feeling I miss. I like the roll of the dice, baby.
Like look, STD or no STD? No, seriously.
Oh,
Let me ask you. Listen, I loved all your answers. So, in all honesty, and it's all off me. This is jokes. This is all that. But do you think that's why a lot of men and women, but a lot of men cheat because of the answer that you just gave, Harvey? Like missing that feeling and not being mature enough to say, no, I'm going to try to recreate that with my wife with little things like giving her hugs, giving her kisses, making her feel wanted and needed. Do you think most men say they don't have the mindset to say do that, but they will go and just grab another chick, call her and do all the fun new things with her because he lacks the maturity. What do y'all think about that? Because that's what I think sometimes.
Yeah, to a degree. I think I agree with you. But I think is emotional, mature, and when you were talking, something that came to mind from the movie The Best Man, and I believe Mo Chess, whatever his character he was talking, he's like, the only thing better than pussy is new pussy.
Ooh.
And like to a degree, it is so toxic. But to the degree, that feeling, that excitement, because we're hunters. So to a degree, we're chasing. And I think we enjoy that action. On me, I'm gonna go get this girl. I have to do what I have to do to get her. And I feel some of us are stimulated by the chase.
Yeah.
And I think some of us, baby, that's why they cheat, because I got this girl, I put that effort in, and now it's not the same because now I got her. The journey. It's like, I don't know, I'm a wrestling fan. It's like watching this guy run to be the champion, but once he's champion, then I'm not interested in him anymore. It's that same kind of thing. The fight to get her, and now I got her. Now what? I think some people like that.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I used to be like that. I used to be
Expound.
I used to be a horrible person. Yeah, listen.
He's gonna tell you how much of a shitty person he used to be, and then he's gonna tell.
Yeah, we always know I'm a good person now.
An outlandish story.
Ooh, outlandish.
Yeah,
what?
but if any one of these outlandish stories that you have, these crazy
got a lot
stories,
of them, buddy.
You got a lot. But today on this episode, he might take a step back because Shadi's been walking up and down these damn stairs.
I don't care. Listen.
I hate when Kev happy. I hate when he happy. You know what I mean? Like, because when he happy, you gotta get butterflies with your girl. You know what I'm saying? She put her shoes on and shit, give me butterflies. Come on, yo.
Like, do I have to be a terrible person all the time? Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was a horrible cheater. Yeah, I did foul shit. There's nothing better than creeping out and saying, "Hey, I'm going to work," knowing I didn't.
Don't say that.
Knowing I called
Let's
out.
go.
Don't say
Look,
that.
look. See,
No,
niggas don't want to
he
give.
said it's
Nothing
nothing
better.
better than
Nothing better.
telling her that I have to go to work, knowing damn well. Like what? There's nothing better than that part.
Go ahead, buddy. Keep going.
Go ahead. Dig
Okay.
this hole, buddy.
Nigga, fuck, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, it was exciting. Calling out. Yeah, I'm going to work. Go out to work in all my work clothes. No, I knowing damn well I done called out to go somewhere else to spend 12 hours there for the day.
That's when you really like her, when you spend 12 hours with her.
Yeah. When you ready to give up hours, that cash.
Oh
See,
man,
I ain't calling
no,
out. I ain't
I
missing the
know.
money.
It's a whole day. It's an
I'm gonna figure
adventure
it
that
out.
day.
Back
That's why I
then, I would have
said.
figured it out.
That's what I'm saying. Those days is over for me. That's why I could talk on them like the way
I'm
I talk
glad.
about them now. That shit's behind me, dude.
Well
Like,
behind.
it is because I look at my family now. I'm happy.
Yeah, we happy. 1, we happy. 2, we old. 3, we tired.
See, that's why y'all be fucking up your
tired.
relationship. Y'all gotta put some of that energy back in that shit.
No,
Get
no,
some
no,
hook
I'm
in your
talking-
get
so-
some hook in your buck.
You thinking
Get
about the
some
wrong
hook in your
tired.
buck.
Talk about tired of chasing the extra women that come along with the one woman
Even
that
though
you have.
Even though I was
Yeah.
always forced to when I had to, but yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to date nowadays. Have you seen these women? First of all, have you seen these women? Has you seen these women? And then it's like, have you seen them?
Yeah,
The
like yo,
quality
you
is
seen
not-
that?
They
Or
look
did you
good,
see
but
it?
the quality isn't there. The mind that I'm married to isn't there. The respect level that they have for themselves, not all of them, but a good listen. There's a lot of them giving the good ones a bad name. Let's just say that.
Cloud chasing.
Well, something. I just see a lot of ass. We all know what I'm talking about. We see a lot of ass, but dog, I'm happy. I'm happy. You know what I mean? I do have to give us something to talk about. I am happy.
Jesus, thank God y'all saved me. I almost said something terrible.
See? We're trying to save you, Kev. We're trying to save you.
Thank God I almost said something. Man,
Yeah,
I almost said
apparently
something
Jesus
cancel
ain't saving
worthy.
you, so somebody got to do it.
All right, listen.
It's a real conversation.
Now,
It is
listen,
real.
we're going to wrap this thing up. Now, Harvey, we are here with Harvey from Men on the Prize podcast, man. And like I said, we want you to tell everybody about your podcast. Let's start off on what made you start podcasting. Let's start there.
All right. So a few years ago, when we were in the Corona thing and we was stuck at home, me and my wife had always said, you know what, we should just start a podcast. Everybody has one. We have interesting conversations. Let's just start our own podcast. The virus comes along. We can't go anywhere anyway. So we just started a podcast. So we have a podcast that we just ended season 4 called Love is Black Podcast. So it's a Black relationship podcast, and it's just us talking about our relationship. And I like doing the podcast thing. And then maybe season 3 or so, I'm like, you know what? I need to do my own. I want to do something on my own. And I'd always seen, it's the Steve Harvey or whatever Jackson or whatever random men who know how to put stuff out to attract women to make money and to denigrate men to do it. It's like women are the prize. And I'm like, yeah, they are.
Right.
But we men are the prize too. So that's the name. Men are the prize. That's a podcast. That's what it came about. And I just wanted to talk to men because men don't talk. And what I love is this, that you guys, open conversation, can discuss relationships, whatever. I wanted a space where men could talk about anything because we don't talk enough. We attempt suicide a lot more than women do. We hold stuff down. It sticks in here. And then when we don't know how to get it out, it finally just comes out, and then toxic masculinity is said. And then bad things happen, abuse, all these things. And I'm like, if we could just talk, we would be much better off. A lot of our issues are resolved by having that man to just listen to you and just get it off your chest. So that's what Men of the Prize is. It's a space for a man to come on and we just talk about whatever. I took 4 of the letters from the word prize and I found words that are good characteristics for being a good man. P is purpose. R is resilience. Z is zeal. E is expectation. So I get a man on the podcast. What's your purpose? And then we just get into it. We're talking about purpose. Typically, you will find that a man's purpose has a lot to do with what he dealt with growing up. A kid who grew up in an abusive household, who didn't have food, mom was being abused, he'll become a social worker. He'll work in family court because he needed that person and he didn't get it. So he becomes what he needed growing up.
Wow.
Purpose. R, resilience. What did you go through to become the man that you are? What should happen that scarred you, that affected you? What was it that was that day that girl embarrassed you and you asked her out and you got all this energy, you did everything, you got your confidence up, and she was like no and disrespected you? How did you deal with that the next day? Did you have somebody to talk to about that the next day? No, that was 30 years ago and that's still sitting there because you didn't get that out. Resilience, being able to deal with bad situations. Z, zeal. What do you do for you? Not for your wife, not for the kids, not for the business, not for the fam. What do you do for you? Even if it hurts the family. You had a tough week. You working hard. You didn't get the promotion you thought you were going to get. Not getting the raise you thought you were going to get. What do you do to let? What's your thing? Do you have to? Do you have a thing where, listen, wife, I know it's busy. I know you got the kids. I know one of them is sick, but I need 2 hours for me so that I could get my head straight. And do you have that? Most men don't because we don't think for us. We don't provide for us. We provide for them. E is expectation. What are you gonna look like in 5 years? You gonna have that business you want to start? You gonna write that book? You gonna be married? Are you gonna propose? What are you doing? What's the plan? Do you see something in the future? What do you expect of your life and of yourself? When I ask these questions, I feel like it opens men up to like, okay, this is where I am. This is not where I want it to be, or this is where I am, and this is not where I expect it to be growing up. A lot going on. It's a conversation.
Mhm.
And that's a lot of me talking. But to me, in the end, the most important thing is not what you're talking about, but that you're talking. For me, is I want to see men see this podcast and it's just a brother talking. Good. Say whatever you want to. You're allowed. And then the more I talk to men, the more I realize how we really don't take care of ourselves. I asked men, what do you do to self? What do you do for yourself? And nobody had an answer. What do you do to self-soothe for you? Like yoga, you ball, mini golf. I don't care. Do you do something? And they're like, no. Like you don't value yourself enough to recognize that you need an outlet too. And two, you got a friend you can call right now and say, I did some dumb shit right now. Do you have a friend who you could that you feel comfortable enough to tell them something stupid that you did and know that it's not going to be sent off to somebody else, that they're not going to tell anybody else? Do you have a safe space for the crap that you did? Because I feel like you guys are good. You could call, yo, Kev, I did some dumb shit. And Kevin's gonna be like, yes, you did. That was dumb as hell. Why you do that shit? But when that conversation is over, one, you know it's not going anywhere. And two, you feel better because you got to say it. A lot of men don't have that. And that's what the podcast is. It's a space to just be because we're not allowed to be. We're here to help, to guide, to provide. But can you just be a man for yourself every once in a while? And it started just doing something with my wife and it became something more. Now I talk to men a lot. Now I'm like you can't help other people. You get on a plane, they tell you cannot help the other people with the masks on until you put your mask down first.
Yep.
I can't help my wife and my kids and my community unless I'm good first. And that's what this is. I got to be good so I can be better for them. And that's the podcast. That's what that is.
Jeez,
I love
man.
that. I love that.
That's fine.
Yeah, because it asks a lot of questions. Now, I'm going to reiterate, but it asks a lot of questions that I'm gonna be honest. Like even with ours, it's similar, but you know we got enough differences there where we're doing kind of different things, but in a similar space.
Mhm.
And these are questions that no one posed to me when I was a kid. Like when I was a young man growing up, I didn't have all of us, other than one, didn't really have anybody but our grandfathers. And we were taught how to be men, but those deeper questions, you know what I mean? Where are you going to be at in 5 years? Might ask me that when I was a kid. Yo, you going to college? Yeah, I'm going to college. I just, that's what you're supposed to do. I didn't, but that's what you're supposed to do. So you don't know how to take care of yourself emotionally so that you can be a strong man, you know what I mean, for your family. Not everybody's taught that. So yeah, I think that's important for the world we live in today, especially for us black men.
Yeah.
And Kev.
Especially.
Listen to
Did you know you had emotions growing up?
I was emotional. I'm gonna be
Mm.
honest. I was emotional. I was the guy, you know, I'm
Still
overly
emotional.
affectionate. And I can be. I can be. I'm overly emotional. I'm the guy who
I mean,
man, it's
I was
embarrassing. I was 15 with the girlfriend telling her I loved her. I didn't know what love was. I just knew that, excuse my French, but the pussy was very good. You know what I'm saying? Like it was my first real taste, and we was doing it everywhere. So I just knew the pussy was very good. She called me all the time. We did a bunch of stuff together, and she was pretty as fuck. So I said, "Oh, I love you." She told me she loved me. I didn't know what the hell that. I was just an emotional guy when I was young.
I didn't have that. I wish I could say that. My dad was raising us, and my dad was raising us to be soldiers. I remember my dad used to do shit like get my cousins and make me like literally fight my cousins until he broke us up. He would say, "All right, y'all are getting too serious with it. All right, time to split it up." And I'm like, "Dad, why I used to do that?" He's like, "I had to raise y'all to be tough. I had to raise y'all to be men." It's like you don't. What I see in 2023 now is like a lot of men is like letting that lid off and letting, different emotions in, where before a lot of them emotions was seen as weak emotions. You're not supposed to feel that way as a man. You're not supposed to talk about this as a man. You're supposed to bottle up, swallow it, and let it go. Now, that's why I like that, like a space like yours and other people provide them space, allow men to like, you know what, get this off our chest, show women like what we really are. We're more than just this big hairy beast that provides for y'all, as they say.
Kev was raised in a fight club.
Yeah. Well, he's a hairy beast,
Not anymore.
apparently. Mr. Hairy Beast.
I live
He
more hair in my chest than I do on my head.
All right, for sure.
Yeah, he is a freak ball.
All right. So I feel like I got a lot of stuff off my chest today.
It was
What about
definitely,
y'all?
Yes. Now, before we go,
definitely good talk today for sure.
Good. Before we wrap this up, Harry, we need to know where everybody
Harvey?
Harvey, my bad. I'm sorry I said Harry
Harvey.
because I just said hair on my chest. God damn, you fucking asshole.
Hey, listen here, Harry.
You been calling him Harry all day.
Listen here, Harry.
I said Harvey. That's Steve Harvey.
Oh my
It's
god.
like that.
Um,
Harvey, where can everybody find your social media and where can they find your podcast and what days do you release?
All right. So since I mentioned it, I'm gonna start with the podcast I do with my wife. So Love is Black podcast. That's me and my wife. We have a podcast that drops every Thursday. We just finished our 4th season. Just ended a few days ago as from the recording. But you can find that podcast on loveisblackpodcast.com. We have a website. You go there and you can listen to the episodes. For Men is the Prize, Men Are the Prize, my podcast. You can find that on my website. That is harveylaguerre.com. That is all my episodes. They're all on YouTube. So you can either listen or watch to all of them there. Find my social media there too. Facebook, Harvey Laguerre, Men of the Prize. Twitter, I believe, is Men Are the PC. I think, yeah, Prize Podcast. Men of the Pod, Men of the Prize Pod on Instagram. Basically, type in my name. It comes up everywhere. And I'm always looking for brothers to talk to. I'm always looking for men who are willing to be open. I go in there with some questions. I'm trying to shake some stuff loose when I talk to these men because from that I started coaching men too. So from there, I feel like I'm always kind of in that therapist mode when I'm trying to talk about stuff. There's nothing better than a vulnerable man. When you open and there's nothing you hide, and there's nothing stronger than that. So that's what I'm aiming to do. But in terms of finding me, you type in my name. I've done enough stuff where you'll find me wherever I am. So I'm glad I got to get on here and talk with you guys. I appreciate it.
No,
Yeah,
we appreciate
you.
you. Had a great time,
It
bro.
was a good time.
Yeah.
Second
Appreciate
attempt.
you. Yeah, I know. Second time's a charm.